together, partying, this and that. And then all of a sudden that partying is falling away. Once again, we come into that dynamic, well, now you just don't care about me, you're not wanting to do the things I want to do. So this is why I say, if you're on the path, really seriously on the spiritual path, find someone that can walk the path with you. Because otherwise there will be miscommunication along the way as one changes. Okay? So either one has to have been in a marriage for some time and they're stable in that marriage, it's not going anywhere. But if you're in a new relationship and all these changes start taking place, there can be very great difficulties with it. And then it'll come down to either or. The partner at that point say, it's either me or the path. Understand? And then you're going to have a very difficult decision to make. Like I said, the path here is not for everyone. You know, if you're out in the world and you want to be out in the world and you just want to make your life better, this is not the path for that. This is the path to be willing to go all the way in until that ego, that me-go self, that driving force implodes. And what remains is that constant, that absolute that was always there, that ground of being where there is no persona. You know, there's no longer a me that has these driving forces. And everything changes. That's like some of the sages. I was talking with them, and it was their first Thanksgiving with the family. And you know, before, when you're in the mind and you're in, you know, all these things, you look forward to Thanksgiving and the holidays and all of the stuff that's going to happen. After realization, you don't look forward to it. It's just, you know, it's another day and it's beautiful for what it is. But there's no more of that driving, you know, there's no a big desire to go out and talk about your storyline. This has happened, that's happened, what's happening, you know, all of that stuff. It's of no interest any longer. There's no desires driving you because there's no feeling of lack. And so this idea of, you know, having goals, what are your goals? What are your New Year's resolutions? What are your, you know, all of these things, they fall away. Not out of because you're blah, because you just don't give a damn. It's not because of that. It's because there's no lack in your life. Everything is full as it is. So what is there to desire? What is there to want to strive towards? Doesn't mean you're not going to go forward in your work life. That's not what we're talking about. Because you do whatever you do is seva to the rest of the world. You do it to the best of your ability. So that goes on. Life goes on. But the dynamics of life really change. They really go through a rapid change, a radical change. You know, some people start the path because they think, well, if I do the path, my life is going to become magical and everything I want is going to fall into place. No. One has their karma. The karma is going to come regardless. But there's no longer an attachment or an aversion to what comes. Okay? It's just part of life. Okay, I did that in the past, this comes in the future. All right. There's no more driving mind. What if? What if? What if? Yeah, what if? Everything is accepted as it is. And the mind becomes still. And everything is enjoyed. Like the sound of these spinning tires out here. Even that's enjoyed. One hears it and can feel the vibration in the heart center. Okay? One looks at the plants, and when you reach a certain point, you can feel, if the attention's in the heart center, you can feel the movement of the plant in their heart. And it's bliss. You know? So these ideas of, oh my God, what if I become a celibate or something? I'm going to be missing out on so much. No. Sex is a come down. After realization, really, it can be a come down. This is not to say that the sages that are married are all going to be celibate, not necessarily, but it's no longer a driving force in their life. Okay? It's not a driving force in their life. It comes, it goes, okay. But if you're not married, then there's really no big inclination to look for something, relationship, because again, there's no lack. You're whole and complete as you are. You're not feeling a lack that you need to go bring something in. So if you're single before realization, more than likely you'll remain single after. If you're in a relationship before realization, more than likely you'll remain in the relationship. Okay, no harm, no foul either way. One's not better than the other. This is not what we're saying. But we're saying if you are on this path, okay, think before you jump into a relationship with someone. Make sure it's somebody that can go the distance with this. And understand there can be repercussions and changes in the relationship if you become serious here. Okay? Another important thing, which I've talked about many times, is if you have a Kundalini activation, this is no joke, the partner can become activated. So this has to be disclosed to them fully, where they understand what they're getting into. Because if they're just worldly minded, this can really wreak havoc with them. It can be very difficult. Okay? So this is something that also needs to be disclosed early on if you are thinking about a relationship with someone. Okay. Are you watching the time? Okay, just making sure. Do I have any questions about any of this?
You hit so much of my circle.
So much of your circle?
So much of my circle of I don't know if I can form that into words.
Uh-huh.
I feel more love for you. Before,
Yeah.
all the kind of my underlying in my relationship is, I will be here to love and support you and do everything I can in every way that I can, except for all the things that you have to do for yourself.
Right.
And trying to get over that urge to fix things and that urge to like, no, I can be like this, and just it's difficult to, or I find difficulty in drawing that line of when I'm supposed to support and love, and when it's from a distance and when it's close. When you hold, both mentally and physically, and when you stand back and I love you and you're doing this. This is your path and this is what comes first, and for you to do what you need to do, I need to not be there.
Right. Yeah, and this is another thing that's difficult when you have a relationship and you have one that's a fixer, they want to take care of and they want to fix. They have to understand when they cannot fix. And they have to be willing to be there and be supportive, without trying to fix it. Because there's not everything that can be fixed, So this is another dynamic that happens sometimes. You have one that's the wounded, wants to be the wounded bird, and then you have the fixer. I'm the protector. So you have to give the wounded bird the time to find their wings.